Hello, I'm Dan from Ace Rentals and Sales, and right next to me is our 2019 Winnebago Travato 59K. Now today, just like always in this video, I'm going to be showing you all the gadgets and appliances on the inside and outside of this RV, so you'll be all set when you come to rent from us. Over here we have the dimensions of this RV. So obviously you can tell it's not 12.5 feet, but we just like to put this as a precaution for the bigger RVs, just so you remember that it's bigger than a regular car or truck. So parking garages, drive-throughs, just watch out for those. You should be good for regular gas stations, but if you want bigger, wider columns, you can use truck stations instead. But unless you're going into like New York City, any tunnel should be fine as well. Over here we have the gas inlet. So this is just regular gas, no premium, no diesel. Down here we have the TV cable inlet. We'll give you the TV cable, so if you have full hookup at your campsite, you have cable hookup, you're just going to stick this wire in here, you can get all the channels through cable. If you don't, that's okay, there's also an antenna here so you can find all the local channels through the air. And next to that we have the power cord connector. It's going to use 30 amp connection, so once you plug in the power cord here, all the major electrical appliances will work. That'll be your AC unit, your microwave, your TV, and your outlets. Below that we have the propane tank. You can leave it on when you're driving, it'll last about a week before you'll have to refill it. This is about 4.7 or 5 gallons for this tank. This is going to be powering the stove, the oven, the water heater, and the fridge when you're not plugged in. Over here we have two water inlets. We have the city water inlet and we have the freshwater inlet. The freshwater inlet will be to fill up the tank itself in here. So if you're on the road, you're not at a campsite, you want to use the sink or the shower, you're going to take it off of the freshwater tank, and this inlet will be to fill that up. There's a sensor inside that will show you how full it is. Next to that, you have the city water inlet. You're going to use the same hose as you use for the fresh water, but this is when you're at the campsite and you want to take their water instead of your own. It's going to bypass the tank and go straight into the pipes. So when you're plugged in at your campsite, you won't be taking anything off of your own tank. And next up, we have the sewer hose. So this RV comes with its own sewer hose, and the dumping station is going to be in the back here. In the rear of the driver's side, we have the dumping station. So you're going to take that sewer hose I showed you. You're going to clip it on clockwise here until it snaps on. You're going to take this part and stick this in the ground at your campsite or wherever else you're dumping. And then over here you have two valves here. They're color coded. You've got the black valve, which is for the black tank, that's your toilet. And the gray valve is for the gray tank, that's your sink and shower. When it's pulled out like this, that means it's open. So if there were anything in the tanks right now, they'd be coming out through the sewer hose. You're going to open out the black one first, and then the gray one to kind of flush it out. And you're going to check the sensors inside. When they're empty, all you want to do is just push them in like this. Now close them, and you're just going to unclip the sewer hose, and you're all set. Finally, on the driver's side here, we have the furnace exhaust, so expect it to be hot, don't put your hand there. And next to that, we have the tank flush valve. You won't have to worry about this. This is just for us when you get back from your rental. Coming around to the back of the RV here, first of all, you can notice the rear view camera up here. It'll go back at least 8 feet total. So when you put the RV in reverse, it'll pop up on the display when you're driving. Otherwise, you can keep it on as a safety precaution. I'm going to open up the back here. So you can see the bathroom right here. We have a little storage area in the back here as well. So first of all, we kept the power cord right here. It's going to be where you plug it in on the driver's side. All the electrical appliances will work. In this compartment here, first of all, you just have the jacks right here. You won't have to worry about this unless there's some kind of service issue. This hose here is the outside shower, so you're just going to hook it up here. You can leave it hooked up, so if you're at the beach or something, you want to wash off the sand before you head inside, you can just spray it down here. And in this box here, we have the white hose here is your freshwater hose, and the black wire is your TV cable. Above that here, we have a few switches. This switch here is for the porch light on the driver's side. This switch here is for the porch light right above us. This here is the water pump. You can switch it on and off here for the outside shower. And you have a cigarette lighter right here and regular wall outlets right here. Just make sure you're plugged in or your generator is on for these to work. Now onto the passenger side here, we have just regular wall outlets, 110 volt, 15 amp. Just make sure you're plugged in or the generator is running for these to work. Over here you have another connector for the TV cable and cigarette lighter right here. And you won't have to worry about the solar power for this one. So we're done with the outside now, so I'm going to head inside. The sliding door here. First of all, you can see you have your screen door right here. You have a little table, you just open up this top here. You can pull this out like this. The chair's in the way, but you can swivel this passenger chair around. You have your little table area here. Over up here, you have the porch light for the outside and the galley lights. Those are the ceiling lights inside. And below that, we have your fire extinguisher for safety. Coach battery is going to be to switch on and off the house battery. The house battery is going to be for very minor things like the lights or the awning. So that means you don't have to be plugged in, or the generator doesn't have to be running just to turn on the light, for example. Below that, we have the fire extinguisher right here for safety. We have the switch to turn on and off the house battery. The house battery is going to be for very minor things like the lights or the awning, so you don't have to be plugged in just to turn on a light, for example. So you can just leave this on, it will be charged when you're plugged in, and when the engine's running, you can just rely on it. Down here we just have more outlets. We have the switch to turn on the awning light. That'll be the LED lights along the awning. And you can open up and close the awning here as well. This will go back about 8 feet total, and if it gets windy or rainy, you should turn it in. So it's really only for shade. Over here you just have a handy little paper that'll show you all the vehicle specifications. There'll be the dimensions of the RV here, and how big the tanks are, pretty much. Coming into the inside of the RV, we have what looks pretty complicated, but most of it you probably won't have to worry about at all. So you won't have to worry about the inverter control or the solar panel. This here is just going to be for the water heater, which I said outside is going to run on the propane. All you want to do is just press this button right here. Turn the dial clockwise once to this thermostat option. Then you can switch it on to hot here. That'll turn on the propane, turn on the hot water, and it'll take no more than 20 minutes to get your water. So if you want to take a hot shower, just plan that much in advance. When you want to turn it off, you just go back to the same thermostat. You can turn it counterclockwise, back to off, turn it off, and that's it. Below here we have just more ceiling lights. You won't have to worry about the power control system here. On this side here, we have the tank heaters. Unless you're in the winter time, you won't have to worry about this. You just want to switch this on just so that the waste tanks won't freeze over. This here is just going to turn on and off the propane tank. So as I said, outside you can leave this on. Below here is just the remote control for the ceiling fan. The controls are on the ceiling fan itself, so you won't even have to worry about that if you don't want to. In the middle here is your most important part. This will be the main control panel. So I'm going to press the water pump here. You can see it can turn from off to on. So when you switch it on, you can pretty much get any water from any of the faucets. We recommend you have this off when you're driving, just in case the faucet opens, you don't want water leaking out. So I can just press it again to turn it off. Over here we have the tank levels, so this will tell you the levels of all the tanks in the RV. So you can see that the freshwater tank is full. You can see the LP gas, that's your propane gas, is going to be full as well. And the gray and black waste tanks are going to be empty. They'll go down from quarters or thirds, so you can just keep looking at this and make sure that all the tanks are full, or however you want them. You won't have to worry about the battery level here. As I said, you can just expect the battery to be running. You have the generator meter here, which will show you the total number of hours the generator has been running. So this one has been running for almost 300 hours total. If you do want to turn on the generator, you just hold start. And we recommend you have the generator running for no more than 3 hours at a time. And once you turn it off, just leave it for 3 hours. So 3 hours on, 3 hours off, just switch between that. I'm just going to press start to auto start it. Just take a few seconds. Now that the generator is running, you just want to wait 30 seconds to 2 minutes. When the microwave beeps, you know that everything in the RV is going to be powered with the generator. So you just want to wait until then. Now that the generator is on, we can show you how to find channels on the TV. So once the TV is on, you're just going to press input, make sure that it's on the TV source. Next you're going to hit menu on the remote, head over to channels here, and then you're going to press auto channel search. We're going to use the antenna since we're not plugged in with cable hookup, but if you are at your campsite, you can switch it to cable from the wall. I'm just going to go back to antenna here, and there you go. Above my head here is the AC unit on the ceiling. So this dial here is just going to turn it from hot to cold. So I'm just going to leave it on the coldest setting here. The air is pointing this way. This air is going to point this way, and you can switch it clockwise here. High cool is going to be the best setting here. And just turn it clockwise back to off. And if you want to turn off the generator, just going to hold down stop here. And that's it. Over here is the kitchen area. So right above here we have some storage space. Below here we have the house microwave, which is going to be a regular microwave. When the generator is running, you shouldn't run the AC and the microwave at the same time. It's too powerful for this generator and it'll cause it to trip. So if you are using the generator and you have the AC on, just turn it off and then use the microwave and you turn the AC back on. That won't be a problem for when you're plugged in. But apart from that, that's just a standard house microwave right here. You have a cutting board area right here. You have your stove right here. It's going to run on the propane. You just want to set to the light, spark it, and you can see the flame there. Once you're done with the stove, just wait a few minutes before you put the glass top back on, otherwise the propane might cause it to shatter. Over here is your sink. It's just a regular sink. Just make sure the water pump is on, and if you want to use hot water, just turn on the hot water 20 minutes beforehand. And below that you have the fridge. So the fridge is going to run on the propane when you're not plugged in, and when you do plug into 30 amp connection, it's going to automatically switch over to that electricity. So no matter what, the fridge is going to be constantly running. In the back here you have two separate beds for your bedroom, but you can actually connect them. You have a table here as well, and I'll show you that right now. In order to add the table, you just want to lift up this bed here. You have a little compartment area that'll have the holes for the table, and the tabletop is actually right here. And here's your table when it's all set up. Along with the table, you can also turn this into one big bed. So here, you're going to take this bar here and lay it across here. You also have two more bars that will pull out like this, and a third one right here. Next, you're going to take that tabletop from before and lay it across the bars right here. Then you can just bring the bed here, add these cushions on top. Just squeeze them in here like this, both of them here, and you have one big bed right here. On this bed here, you'll also notice that you have seat belts for two people. To use the windows is simple. You just want to flip the latch out like this, then pull. You've got the screen door here as well. Just push to close it, lock it, and as for the blinds, you just want to pull up and push down. Above here you also have a radio, and you connect your phone with Bluetooth here as well. Now in the back here we have the bathroom. You have these privacy curtains on both sides here. You have a sink right here. It'll pop out like this. Again, just make sure the water pump is on for any of these things to work. You have your mirror here, cabinet and drawer space on the opposite side here. Your toilet is kind of like an airplane toilet. You just want to push down this pedal here to flush it out. And the toilet paper is RV specific, so you're gonna have to go to the camping section at Walmart, or campsites themselves will sell it. And finally here you have the shower. Down here you also have the carbon monoxide and propane detector along with the smoke detector above my head. And you have the fuse box here, and we'll give you extra fuses just in case anything blows. Above the cap here we have some privacy curtains for the windows on the sides here, and for the windows in the back. And behind the passenger seat, we gave you a little envelope here. This is going to have your instruction manual, it's going to have your registration, and those extra fuses I was talking about. The windshield has its own privacy curtain. You just want to take this, push this button here, and you can latch it on to the mirror up here. Same thing goes on the other side. Lift this up, push the button, and put it on the latch right here. And after that, you just hold this up. Now the front cap here is just going to function just like a regular Ram truck. For the keys here, there's just one key for everything. You have the roadside assistance number here on the keychain. You can call it 24/7, ask any question you like. I'll start the car here. You have your AC system here. You have your display up top here. You have your radio when you put the RV in reverse. You have your rear view camera. You have a GPS system built in here. And as for the parking brake, it's going to be right here by my left arm. Just want to pull it up and then release it. For the seat settings, you have two dials here. This will bring the chair forward and backward, and this will bring it up and down. Over here is actually, will bring the back forward and backward, and the other side will cause the chair to swivel. And that's all you need to know for our 2019 Winnebago Travato 59K. I've been Dan from Ace 3 Rentals and Sales, and have a great trip.